If you've ever looked around the room and thought, how did I end up here? And what if they realize I don't belong? This episode is for you. Today, I'm talking with Stacy Brockman, founder of Real Life Resilience, about imposter syndrome, people pleasing, perfectionism, and the quiet ways self doubt sabotages your leadership and career. Stacy spent 35 plus years in corporate and coaching women leaders, and she's breaking down how to rewrite the thoughts that keep you stuck so that you can finally feel comfortably confident in the roles you've earned. If you're tired of overworking, overchecking, or overproving yourself just to feel good enough, you're going to feel so seen in this conversation. Hey, Mama, welcome to Career Growth for Working Moms. If you're stuck in a job that doesn't fit or burning out trying to do it all, you're in the right place. I'm Shannon, a career coach and fellow working mom. Here, you'll get simple career strategies and strength based leadership tips to help you grow with clarity and confidence. So grab your coffee or reheat it for the third time, and let's do this. Hello and welcome. Today I have the pleasure of speaking with Stacy Brockman. As the founder of Real Life Resilience, Stacy has dedicated her career to equipping women leaders with the tools to banish self-doubt, overcome imposter syndrome, and command their rightful seat at the table. Her journey spans over 35 years, first navigating the corporate labyrinth and then applying these hard-won insights to empower others. Stacy has an MBA in entrepreneurship and certifications as a life coach and a HeartWork Journaling instructor and coach. She has served in major corporations like State Farm Insurance, where she acted as a consultant for both corporate and regional offices, and at other organizations where she honed her skills as a speaking and presentation coach, curriculum creator, and digital marketing coach. This unique blend of qualification empowers her to provide personalized and effective coaching. Welcome, Stacy. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you, Shannon. This is amazing. And yeah, so glad to be here.
So we just heard this amazing bio about you, but can you tell us a little bit more about your story and what brought you on this career path?
Yeah, well, I've been, as you can see, climbed a lot of ladders,
Yes.
corporate ladders and other ladders. And every ladder that I climbed, every rung, I mean, even when I would skip a rung, to the two levels up or whatever, which I have done, I never felt good enough. I never felt good enough. It was like this. Okay. You know those spy movies where, the spy goes into this grand ballroom, they're having a big party with glittery and, dresses and all
Yes.
that, and they're trying not to get found out, right?
Right.
That was like that's how I felt. I felt like I got to get found out, like try not to get found out because that I came in by the side door. I didn't really belong there. And it was like scary and nerve wracking because I never felt good enough to be in the room with other leaders, even though I had looking back and during that time, I had amazing ideas. Had great strategies, great concepts. I led teams. I did all kinds of things, but I just always felt like that spy in the room that was about ready to get found out and was going to get kicked out, all those rungs on the ladder. And I'm like, that's not a good feeling, right? I
No,
thought
not at
that's
all.
how it had to be. I thought like this is it. This is, what leadership is all about. Um, or getting to the next level is all about. And it doesn't have to be. So when I got life coach certified and HeartWork Journaling coach certified, I'm like, wait a minute. This is helping me have a better experience of my leadership, of my corporate journey, of my entrepreneurial journey, which is also just as hard.
Right.
And it's just like, oh, I can have a better experience of that and be confident in myself, even if I don't have the right skills, or even if I don't have perfect skills, or I'm, not perfect. And so I wanted to share that shortcut with everybody else, because everybody, no matter what stage they're at, where they're at in their career or their life or their business or whatever, can feel comfortably confident. So that's my whole goal, is to give people a shortcut to feel comfortably confident.
I love that. I love that. And I think our audience really is going to like they want to feel that because I don't know how you can go through your whole career life and not feel like that,
Yeah.
that you're not enough, or that you kind of shouldn't really be in this position, even though you're giving that. Um,
Right.
Given that, I actually heard a speech the other day that said that only 20% of leaders actually that have all these titles actually believe that they're a real leader. And so that
Yes.
it's amazing to me. So
Yeah.
it just shows no matter what, we all
Right.
have this imposter syndrome. And
Yes.
and that does affect a lot of the leaders. So my question is, how would you describe imposter syndrome? And then why do you think so many of us struggle with it, even though we all are capable? We wouldn't get that job if we weren't capable of doing it. So
Yes. Yes. Well, okay, so what is imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome shows up in a lot of different ways, and some people don't think they have imposter syndrome, but they might. And so this is a great place to examine your own actions, right? Or inactions. So imposter syndrome can show up as I'm not good enough, right? And it's that little voice inside of your head that's telling you that. And maybe you don't see it or hear it, but it's like it's there saying you're not good enough. And that results in I can be a people pleaser, right? I want to please everybody because I want everybody to think that I'm great, I'm okay. I don't think I'm okay, but I don't think I'm great, but I want everybody else to, right? That was
right.
me, right? But I want them to see. I always wanted to get like the 5 stars or the highest level or whatever. I was like shooting after the straight A's and everything like that. And if I got there, then that meant I had it made. I was okay. And I'll tell you what, you mentioned titles after your name. At one point I had more letters after my name than in my name. First, middle, and
Wow.
last name. No kidding. And I still didn't feel good enough. I took the second hardest test in America and passed in the United States, and I still didn't feel like I was good enough. So the titles, that doesn't matter.
Right.
Imposter syndrome still comes. So people pleasing. And so therefore you're like, well, let me do that, or I'll take on that, or I'll, get that done for you. I'll spend until midnight, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning getting that done regularly. You're a people pleaser, ultimately hurting yourself, right?
Yes. Yes.
And so that's one. Being a perfectionist. Let me double, triple, quadruple, 10 times check this spreadsheet or this or going out, that sort of thing. That is an example because you don't want other people to see that you might have a flaw or you might have one wrong thing. That's imposter syndrome. Also, overwork. We mentioned, like being the people pleaser, but also taking on, I want these stretch projects. I want to do that. I want this, and taking it on so that I'll tell you what, this happened recently to me again, still, right? It's like you got to keep
Right. You
after
have to
it.
keep working on it because
Yeah.
it can
I'm
still
like,
show up.
I think I need to get this extra certification. And then I'm like, wait a minute. I am in the middle of a very busy season in my business. Why am I thinking about that? It's because I didn't feel like I was good enough. I want more stuff. I'm like, I'm the queen of piling more work on myself.
Me
And
too.
so I always even have to be on top of it. And so overwork, overwhelm, people pleasing, and perfectionism. Those are the 4 symptoms of imposter syndrome, because that imposter syndrome is the core of what's causing all of that, and therefore giving you not a great experience of your life at the
Yeah.
time, right?
Yeah.
Because that imposter syndrome is driving your actions.
Yeah. And I look back at my life and my career, and I have experienced every single one of those,
Yes. Yes.
And
It's common.
so I can relate to
81%.
anybody who's
Yeah.
out there listening that I've been there, and I know you probably have too. And like
Yes.
you said, it just recently happened. And I think we have to have those little, like, but the difference is we have those little we can get, I don't even know what I want to call them, like little triggers to say, oh, wait, hey, this is
Yeah.
what's happening. Stop. Let's refocus.
Yes.
So,
Yes, exactly. Exactly. In fact, that what I'm going to share with you in a bit is the remarkable resilience routine, which finds that and
okay.
helps you to be able to stop it. So, yeah.
Yes. Yes. Okay. I can't wait. So, we have those hidden thoughts that we were talking about, but how do they play a role in keeping us stuck in feelings of self doubt?
Yes. So the thoughts we have in our head are what keep us stuck, first of all. So it's really good to figure out, okay, what are those thoughts in my head? And so I recommend people do a brain dump. Like every morning, what do I think about my job? What do I think about my career? What do I think about my family, right? Or my kids or my spouse or my whatever that is. What am I thinking about some of the tough things in my life right now? And just like almost vomit onto the page. Just write it out. Nobody else is going to see it but you. Pull one of those sentences out and examine it and say, is that really true? Because your brain, it's the amygdala, the more older part of your brain, the part of your brain that always scans for what's dangerous. What's dangerous? Oh, crossing the street is going to be dangerous. We better not ever cross the street. So we better not ever go on a different adventure or be an entrepreneur or look for another job or try to get a promotion. We better not do that because we're not going to be successful. And the amygdala is looking at the past. Have you ever been an entrepreneur before? Have you ever been at that director level before? No? Then you better not, because you're not going to be successful. So we know that it's doing that.
Right.
And we're capturing those when we write out those sentences. But we know it's also a lie. So our brains can actually lie to us. It's doing its job, trying to keep us safe, right?
Right.
But we don't have those things that we did in like caveman days, the saber-toothed tigers. Yes, somebody might disapprove of us, but that's not going to kill us, right?
Right. Right.
So we have to look, and are those sentences in our brain that our brain is offering us automatically? You can't stop them. Are those true? And oftentimes they are not true, or they're true, but they're not serving us well. Like, I didn't do that presentation well. I sucked at that presentation. Well, maybe it's true. Maybe it's not. I've actually sucked at a presentation, I thought. And I had two people email me, and one of them was like, "Oh my gosh, I needed this right at this time." So, it's
Yeah.
your brain. So now we need to think through with the prefrontal cortex. That's the executive functioning of our brain. That's the more advanced portion of our brain that can plan in the future, can have goals and that sort of thing. And so they work in conjunction. So we just have to be aware that the amygdala is along for the ride, that fear, that anxiety, whatever, that is in the car, but it doesn't have to drive the car. You are driving the car, right? So it's those thoughts that get us stuck because they roll around in our brain without us knowing. That's why we get stuck. We don't know it's rolling around in our brain, but the actions that we take are as a result of those lies that our brain is offering, right? And so that's what's keeping us stuck, because our thoughts create our feelings, which create our actions, which create our results. So yeah,
Then what
it's
kind of
amazing.
steps can we take to change those thoughts and
Yeah.
bring them to light?
Yes, good question. So just get those out, like just dedicate yourself to spend 5 minutes, 5 minutes a day. And if you can do this at least 3 times a week, that'd be great. If you could do it 5 days a week, that'd be amazing, right? Do that, because then you're going to start knowing, oh, this is what my brain is offering. Oh, I get it. Just write down everything, good, bad, ugly. Nobody else is going to see it, and get those thoughts out so you know what your brain is offering. And then you can counteract that. Now, one of the things I caution people is I'm not a big believer in affirmations. So hopefully nobody else here is like, anyway, it's not popular
Right.
for me to say that, but I don't believe like if I were to say I'm the best leader there is, my brain's going to be like, well, that's for sure a lie, right?
Right.
And it's
Right.
going to keep me stuck in that looping pattern. That's a lie. No matter how many times I say it,
Right.
only if I truly believe it. And so uncovering those thoughts, and the thoughts that, I suck, right? This happened and it sucks. And then what emotion does that cause? That thought, right? Because the circumstances, those circumstances. Circumstance might be I didn't get the job. I was turned down for the promotion. I didn't get the raise that I wanted. I, my spouse left me. Whatever circumstance is actually neutral. It's you cannot affect the circumstance. You don't have control over other people, but then you don't have to live your life based on the thought, this sucks, the feeling of anxiety that might drive the actions that you take are because of the thoughts that you're thinking about that circumstance, not the circumstance itself, right?
Right.
So this is the difference between people who can take a tough circumstance or disappointing circumstance and move forward, and those who stay stuck. They're stuck in those thoughts, right? So the remarkable resilience routine, which I'm giving y'all a copy of, like how to do this. It will take you through. It's really important to recognize, first of all, what your brain is offering, right? Go through that. What thought am I thinking, right? Is it useful? Is it not useful? And then what emotion does that bring? Let's recognize what that feeling is. Like, we shouldn't be afraid of our emotions. Disappointment. I could be disappointed in a circumstance. I get it. But what actions am I taking because of disappointment? I'm not looking for a new job. I'm not, I'll tell you what, I've been disappointed at work before, and I kind of like checked out, like did the minimum, you know.
Right.
Now
Yeah.
they call it, what do you call it? Work, not a workation or something like that.
Yeah.
Quiet quitting.
Yeah.
But I have done that before. But that's not in true to my own values. And that
Right.
made me feel ickier, right?
Right.
So what you can do then is create your own new model. Yes, I was turned down for a promotion. What am I going to think about this that drives a feeling of confidence or security or, whatever else you want to feel? Let's figure out, what do you want to feel in that tough circumstance, right? And you can then create a sentence in your brain. And this is where that affirmation doesn't work. Everything's going to be fine. I'm going to get the next promotion. Well,
Right.
you may not.
Right.
What can you think in your brain that will help you become confident? This is a great opportunity to learn, right? Although I don't usually use that one a lot because, like, a learning opportunity. Yeah, I hate this learning. I don't want to learn anymore. No, thank you. Right.
Right.
But you can create a different sentence. It's like, I get it. I'm understanding how this workplace works, or, whatever that sentence is. And I, walk you through some examples
Yeah.
in the download. But then you become confident. And from the feeling of confidence, what will you do? You can take different actions than from the feeling of disappointment, right? And so that's how you change your results and your outcomes from the same exact circumstance. You can go down that negative route, or you can go down a different route. And I don't like, it's not necessarily, it's not toxic positivity or anything like that. It's just giving you a better experience because of your thoughts.
Right. I
So
love that. Well, what happens if you are a leader or manager? Because we have some of that in our listeners, and you notice that one of your direct underneath you, people are kind of taking on some of this imposter syndrome. Do you have any advice that can encourage them as a leader to help their colleagues?
yes, that's a great, great question, because we often do see that. And we see that person even maybe sucking up to you and trying to, and people pleasing, doing some of
Yes.
those things. I would help them be self-aware, right? What is your goal here? And how can believe me, I support you. I support you in what you need to do and want to do. My goal is to move obstacles out of your way. That's the best bosses that I have had myself were ones that, like, let me move obstacles out of your way. And what I've observed some things that you want to take on a lot of these extra projects. I'm wondering what that's about. Help them explore and eventually get to the thought in their head that, that is causing that. Because our thoughts cause every action we take, whether we're going to the store, we invite somebody out, whether we, yell at our kids, our thoughts are what drive everything we do.
Right.
So helping them get to that thought, I would recommend giving them this remarkable resilience routine so they can just pull those thoughts out of their head and then look and examine what kind of experience they're giving that employee for them. And everybody has to come up with their own thought as far as the second component, like the better thought. What's a better thought is, I am doing what I need to do to maximize my opportunity here, or whatever that might be. It's just helping them to understand that they don't have to do the people pleasing. And here's another thing I'll tell you, this just a little aside. This is what I tell people. They're kind of shocked sometimes. What other people think about you, none of your business. None of your business.
Yeah.
You can, and I'm trying to make you like me. So I take on extra projects, right?
Right.
I can't make somebody else like me. No, everyone in the whole world are independent, autonomous human beings. I don't want somebody to try to make me like them. Right. I want to like them naturally. I want to. And so, because we all have autonomy, there's no way that we can make somebody do something like that. Right. That's manipulative.
Yep, exactly.
So, yeah. So what I do is I tell people is like, don't worry about what other people think about you. You need to worry about what you think of you. And that's where your efforts and your thoughts and things can come from, which is amazing.
Right. I love that. I love that. And I love like how you gave very practical reasons or applications for those leaders. I mean, it can be very simple because you really do care. You want them to succeed in their job. And so you're coming from that place of caring about them.
Exactly.
So,
And wanting them to have a better experience.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then they'll feel that. Love it. Well, thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate it.
This is fun. I hope it helps everybody.
Hey, Working Mama. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, would you take 30 seconds to share it with a friend who's stuck in her career but doesn't want to sacrifice her family to grow? Also, please leave a quick review on Apple Podcasts. It seriously lights me up to know this show is helping you navigate burnout, find clarity, and lead with confidence. All right, time to shut down my laptop and pretend I'm not hiding from folding that laundry. I'll meet you back here soon for another episode of Career Growth for Working Moms. You've got this.